Hey, in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about how you have unmet childhood needs that are still running your life today or even wrecking your life. So the main message behind my channel is self-mastery. That means you master yourself, your mind, your emotions, your body, and you have personal sovereignty. That means you live your authentic truth. However, this is not easy to do. This is not easy to do because we're run by a lot of unconscious programs that we usually pick up at an earlier stage of our life. And so one of the main things that are driving most people is childhood needs. The programming we received, the things that we didn't get, is still running us now, and many people are still trying to get these needs met in adulthood. So they might feel like they know what they want or the direction they want to take their life in, but in actuality, they're being run by something they didn't get earlier on in their experience. So their true motives aren't authentic. They're a bit dysfunctional. So what we're going to do in the video here today is we're going to look into the subconscious, identify 5 of these needs, and then you can begin to see, did I get this need met? Didn't I get this need met? And you can begin to form a connection to see how you might be unconsciously trying to still get some childhood need met. And when you see that and you make the connection, you can start to take your power back, right? You can actually start to live a more authentic life. So this is one of the key components of self-development, even spiritual work, is to find out what's running you and see that this isn't real. Like, this is just something that I've been unconscious of, I didn't have any idea about, and it empowers you. Another great thing you'll get from this is real, true core confidence, non-neediness. The reason you might be needy or you desperately want things is simply because you didn't get it at an earlier stage of your life, right? So now you're a needy person, right? Maybe you really need that relationship, or you really need some money, or you really need some success. I don't know, right? It's not coming from a healthy place. That's not to suggest you cannot have these things. The place it's coming from, we've got to look at that. And then when you fulfill your own needs, which we'll talk about, then you show up different. That's a different energy, right? There's no neediness about you. You can go about doing your business, meeting people, and people will feel that off you, like there's no neediness around this person. This person is whole. This person has fulfilled themselves. This person is overflowing. I want to be around this person, right? That's where this will lead you. That's why this is so powerful. So before I get into these 5 needs, I just want to share a few key insights. The first insight is you can clearly define how needy you are based on this definition. If you cannot be in the moment, then you have unmet needs. It's so simple. So if we consider that human beings are designed to be present, right? That's our basic default program. So anytime we are not being present, we're being run by something else, right? And how many people struggle to be present, right? It's very, very difficult. So if you find yourself always agitated or anxious or trying to always do something and just can't sit still, always got to be doing like social media or watching stuff or YouTube, whatever, right? You probably have unmet need. That's because you cannot be still. You cannot be in the moment. Okay, another key insight is unmet needs will trigger the fight or flight response. So if you are someone who struggled with trauma or suffered with trauma, and you now find yourself getting triggered and going into these fight or flight responses, that's probably occurring because of some unmet need earlier in your life. Because when you were a kid, you needed certain things, and if you didn't get them, it triggered you into fight or flight. That's how important your needs are, right? You do not have a choice about this. So when I share these 5 needs with you, you can't say, okay, I need that. I don't really want that one. I don't really need that one. You don't have a choice. You need them all, right? These are basic needs which are kind of programmed into you on a cellular level. Every human being needs to have these needs fulfilled. And if they're not fulfilled, guess what? As a child especially, you would have felt under threat. And now you're probably still replaying that threat response out. And the final thing I want to say before we dive into it is not having your needs met is going to make you a selfish person, right? Because on some level, you're going to feel like there's not enough. Because when you needed your needs to be filled, they weren't. So now you'll face the world, you'll go about your business, and you might play small. You might always be out to get what you can get. And you might always be in competition to other people, right? That's not a collaborative mindset. That's a very low consciousness mindset. So when you overcome this and deal with it, you're going to be much more empowered, much more collaborative. Now I'm going to get into these 5 needs. They're in no particular order. We're going to start with the first one. And the first one is the need for safety and security. Pretty obvious. Every human has the basic need for safety and security. As you can probably imagine, not everybody gets this need met, right? You might have grown up in an abusive household. Maybe you were a victim of physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse. Maybe there was domestic shit going on. Parents were fighting, arguing, right? Or maybe the place you lived just wasn't very safe. All of these things will cause you to grow up not feeling very safe, right? This will then manifest itself probably in your adult life as you feeling anxious or unsafe, always worried. That's simply because you didn't get what you needed when you needed it, right? And so what will happen is it'll manifest in these ways. What I'm also going to do here is I'm going to give you some examples of how you might be trying to meet these needs now in adulthood. So this one, for example, just a broad general example, you might be trying to meet the need for security through, say, chasing financial wealth or more money or success. Because money is generally considered to increase our safety and security. So you might have made that connection. When I have all this money, I'm going to feel safe and secure, right? So the place your desire is coming from is from a wounded place. This isn't to suggest that everybody who wants to make money is like lacking in some way, or they didn't get their safety, security needs met. I'm just giving you an example for how it might manifest. And I'll keep giving examples for most of these. So the second one we've got is attunement. Attunement is you feeling seen. Did you grow up and did people see you for who you truly were? This is very, very important, because if you grow up not being seen for who you really are, then your true self never really develops. This can happen from controlling parents, overbearing parents, parents trying to change you or trying to force you to be something, or even parents who are over controlling or smothering, right? They literally smother your true essence and it never really comes online, so you never really know who you are, right? And then you're never really going to be fulfilled. So you need to be seen. And when you're seen, then you develop your true self. Then you develop confidence, self-trust. That's like when you're most powerful. And if you did not get this need met, if people didn't really see you for who you were, then you might manifest this now by trying to be famous, for example, right? Because you want to be seen. You weren't seen when you were growing up. So now you want to be seen that you're an adult. You're still trying to meet that need, you see? So it's very interesting how we manifest it in adulthood. If we really look at it, we can usually figure out why we're pursuing the things that we're pursuing. And so the third need is the need for connection or belonging, right? You might notice that a lot of these kind of overlap. So the need for belonging and connection means you grew up in a family where you felt part of something. You were part of the family, maybe the community, the neighborhood, the culture, the country even, right? So this for me personally was one that I didn't really get, because where I grew up, I felt very different. I looked very different. I got treated differently from people around me. So I didn't grow up feeling like connected, belonging. And when you don't get that sense of belonging, you just feel like a bit of an outsider. You might become a lone wolf. I actually think loneliness probably comes from this, right? People never really felt like they belonged, and now as they're older, they still feel like a sense of loneliness. Wherever you go, you just feel like a black sheep. You don't really fit in. See what I mean? And I think a way that a lot of people will be trying to get this need met now is potentially in, say, romantic relationships, right? So they're potentially seeing some partner that they want to be with and saying, when I'm with you, oh my God, my life's going to be incredible. It's literally seeking that belonging and connection that they didn't get. and they're projecting it onto this person. And how's that sort of relationship going to go? It's coming from a very childish part of who you are. It's not going to go very well. So the fourth emotional need that you may not have got met is the need for support and encouragement for self-development. So everybody needs to grow and develop. And if no one's there to encourage you to grow, right, you're never going to be able to find your potential. You might hear stories about athletes whose parents push them and always give them encouragement, and now they become great, because that's how far encouragement can take you. But if you didn't get that, you might just never feel like you can really do much. It's sad. And the saddest thing is that usually if our parents are not confident, we can't really expect them to instill confidence in us, even though they can give us words of encouragement, which is great. But if they don't have that core confidence, if we don't see them acting with true confidence, then it's going to be difficult for us to really be confident, right? A lot of these are kind of intergenerational. They go like far back, right? A lot of it's stuff that your parents can give you, but they probably didn't get it from their parents either. I also think with the encouragement one, you can actually develop this yourself. You can develop all of them yourself, I believe. But this one especially, just by stretching yourself, pursuing goals, doing things that are outside of your comfort zone, will start to build that confidence, right? So it's not easy to do that because you've always got to be stretching. You've always got to be living at your edge. But it's very possible you can begin to cultivate, and more of your true self comes online when you get out of your comfort zone regularly, which is something I talk a lot about. And so the fifth and final one I've got is soothing and comfort. Soothing and comfort. Everybody wants to feel soothed and as though they are comfortable growing up. Again, if you grew up in poverty, maybe your parents didn't have much money, maybe you didn't feel very comfortable. Some people as well, I feel, get too much comfort, right? Too kind of smothered, overprotected. Neither are good. We need a balance. And I think if we don't get the balance, both of them can lead to like addiction for pleasure, basically. You get hooked on pleasure, whether you didn't get enough soothing and comfort or you got too much. Now you get hooked on pleasure and you're always chasing pleasurable things, which is probably one of something I talk about in my last videos. The modern culture is soft. It's too comfortable and it makes us it hooks us onto pleasure, right? And so I think people need to soothe themselves, which you can do, but only after doing some challenge, something difficult. And meditation is soothing. Do something difficult, but then soothe yourself through meditation, right? You're getting that balance. You don't want to get stuck in just soothing yourself. Anyway, they are the 5 emotional needs that you maybe didn't get as a child. Now, how do you get these needs met? The key question. First of all, you've got to understand that these were external needs. You needed these meeting from somebody else, your caregivers, your parents. So because they weren't met by them, they're probably never going to get fully met. I'm sorry to say, right? However, they can be partially met. Also, they can't be fully met because you needed them met in childhood. You're not a child anymore. But from what I understand, that these needs are programmed into us on a cellular level, so they can still be met. For example, if you can find a good therapist who can see you for who you are, right? That can help you. That can help you find more of yourself. More importantly, you need to look at your life, see what you didn't get based upon the things I've mentioned, these 5 traits, these 5 unmet needs. See what you didn't get, see how it's manifesting in your life now and how you're pursuing certain things. As a result of that, once you see it and form the connection, it's going to start to, the awareness alone will start to change. It'll start to change what you're going for. So just seeing it's so key. Also, I recommend people meditate and visualize on this. So for example, if you didn't grow up feeling very safe, you can do safety meditation. Just sit in meditation, cultivating feelings of safety, right? So some of these can be cultivated through visualization, meditation, like repetition, right? It's like programming and training your nervous system to know what that would have felt like. If you do that enough times, you gradually begin to reprogram yourself, right? So visualization, meditation, very, very important. I also suggest you Set some goals, work towards the goals, because goals give you a track to run on. What goals will do is that you'll find more of yourself, basically, because that's what we're trying to do here. You'll start to find more of your needs. You'll start to find more ways to meet your own needs. Because if you can achieve your goals, you can achieve most of your own needs as well. So I highly recommend people set external goals, whatever that is. Obviously something that stretches you, something that challenges you. It can't be too easy. A final key point is that you need to grieve what you didn't get, right? So you might have seen other people getting what you didn't get. You might have really, really wanted something, but you just couldn't get it for whatever reason, right? You're probably carrying a lot of grief from all them years of unmet needs. You're going to have to feel that out. You're going to have to grieve that. This could probably take you a little bit of time. Find someone to work with if it helps you, but you're going to have to grieve all of this stuff, right? And that's pretty much all I've got to talk about in a video. So I hope this helps some of you out. It's very powerful work, right? It's about reclaiming and seeing you underneath all the shit, underneath all the programming and the conditioning, and seeing what's really going on and why your life is the way that it is. True empowerment. So yeah, I hope it helps some of you out. Until next time, God bless.